first, let's quickly come to the story on noted poet Munawwar Rana. Let's tell you what all he has been charged with. There's an FIR against him because of his utterances under IPC section 153A, promoting enmity between different groups on grounds of religion. Section 295A, extremely serious charges of the Indian Penal Code, deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings. Section 298, uttering words with deliberate intention to wound religious feelings. Section 5051B, intent to cause fear among public. Section 5052, circulating statements or reports with intent to incite sections and various sections of the IT Act. Now, what exactly happened? Munawwar Rana, the noted poet, and a clip of his has gone viral on the internet where he seems to be, quote unquote, justifying the act of beheading, right? He, though, has issued a clarification where he says, and I quote, he says, "My statement was just that whoever made the cartoon did something wrong. Whoever killed someone did a greater wrong." Now, this is his explanation. Many people would argue that the original statement does not specify these nitty-gritties. What people make of it, I cannot say. This is Munawwar Rana's explanation. "My statement was that spreading this fanaticism in the name of religion is not right." So that's the clarification from Munawwar Rana. But is this an afterthought, or is this actually what he meant? And see, the point is, Munawwar Rana, as of this moment, is a noted person. He's never known to speak like this. But when he does this, what sort of impact does it have at a time where, at least in India, we are trying to not make sure, and in fact trying to make sure, beg your pardon, that this global polarized debate around France does not end up affecting harmony in this country. To discuss this further, I have Shantanu Gupta, is a political analyst, views lean towards the right. Historian S. Irfan Habib is also with us. Amir Raza Hussain, theatre personality, is also with us. Mr. Habib, let's begin with you first. What do you make of the statements that have been made? Surely no one in his sane mind can justify an act of terrorism, an act of beheading.
No, there is no disagreement on that. I have tweeted about it, and I know Munawwar Rana Saab personally as well. I respect him as a very sensitive poet, and he has always been a very sensitive poet. I don't know what led to this sort of reaction from him. I haven't heard the statement, but whatever we are hearing is absolutely uncalled for. There is no justification. No religion actually allows this. And if you do this, if you justify this, then you are actually harming your faith itself. No, you are not doing any harm to anybody else.
Yes.
You are dragging your own faith into all sorts of problems. So no justification. There is no if and but. Loss of human life in this manner has to be condemned. And justification or saying that I would have done the same thing, that is something absolutely outrageous. I don't know why he said it and
now Mr. Habib, see, the point is, it's interesting that you say that one really doesn't understand why he ended up saying what he did, because when you juxtapose his clarification where he said that my statement was just that whoever made the cartoon did something wrong, whoever killed someone did a greater wrong. But if you read the original statement, and why we are going so much into detail of what Munawwar Rana has said, because he's a very noted and famous personality.
Of course,
if he says something like this, surely there will be people who will take it extremely seriously. He said that statement, original statement, what he said, I want to read out for the benefit of you and as well as our viewers. He said, and I quote, "Agar abhi koi shakhs mere baap ka cartoon bana de, aisa ganda, मेरी माँ का कार्टून कोई ऐसा गंदा बना दे तो हम तो उसको मार देंगे। अगर कोई हमारे हिंदुस्तान में किसी देवी देवता का, मान सीता का या भगवान राम का ऐसा कोई कार्टून बना दे जो गंदा हो, आपत्तिजनक हो, अफसोसजनक हो, जिसे देख के बेहयाई होती हो, आंखें बंद करने का जी चाहता हो, तो हम उसको मार देंगे." Now, obviously, he is talking about a sentiment. But from a noted poet like Munawwar Rana, if he's going to express a sentiment like this, and in this form, is he not justifying killings? And that's where the problem is.
There's no doubt
Mr.
about
Habib.
it. He's absolutely justifying. You cannot justify killing in the name of Allah, in the name of Prophet Muhammad, in the name of Ram. You cannot justify killing in the name of anybody. No, whether it is God or goddess or any human being whom you revere, you cannot justify killing. Life of human.
Would you then say that
any
an
human
apology at the very least is in order?
Of course, he should apologize. And merely saying that I have been misquoted, because all these statements are on video. And any celebrity or any politician who ends up saying that I didn't say this, actually doesn't work, because all that is recorded these days. So that makes no sense. He should straight away go and say, I'm sorry.
I think this de-hyphenation is very, very important, and Mr. Habib seems to be mentioning a very important point. Shantanu Gupta, you know the point that many Islamic nations, in fact almost all Islamic nations, have condemned the incident of beheading, but at the same time they have also condemned the actions in France, that is portraying of the Prophet in the manner in which the cartoon has actually done. So do you think that individuals who believe in faith must have the right to disagree or be upset about the representation of their faith, at the same time should not go so far as to behead someone in the process of disagreement? And when people like Munawwar Rana say what they do, surely articulation is not a problem with Munawwar Rana. He's an extremely articulate man. So I'm sure he knew what he was saying. Do you think that this is dangerous, what a Munawwar Rana has now started doing?
I'm saying it's very dangerous, Sanket, and coming from someone like Munawwar Rana, who is heard by many. His videos are viral for his shairi, and he goes to a lot of Indian and global mushairas and lot of such forums, right? So it's extremely dangerous. See, what is the sequence of events, right? As I told you in a Hindi broadcast, India is facing the Islamic terrorism from 1980s onwards from cross-border. Western world was quite ridiculous. They used to ridicule India. Oh, nothing of that sort exists. Till the time they faced it themselves in London bombings, in 9/11 in US, and now from last couple of years in Paris and France, generally from Charlie Hebdo till now. So now when Emmanuel Macron, the French president, said that Islam is getting grabbed by Islamists and they should purify themselves, or they should come to the rescue of Islam, right? And freedom of expression has a different tone and context in France. They have their separate blasphemy laws. So, and with that, in India, a lot of people are starting boycotting French goods. Someone who is standing against terror, people are saying, okay, no, he's not against terror, he's against Islam. I don't know how people are making
Shantanu, people are well within their right to do that. People are well within their right if they do not agree. See, I think the point that Munawwar Rana was making about insulting faith...
Emmanuel Macron should not save his country.
I'm
he
saying,
should not save his people from beheading.
These are two different things. Nobody on this panel is justifying that act of terror. Nobody is. Neither Irfan Habib, and I can bet even Amir Raza Hussain. Let me go to him. Mr. Hussain, would you like to tell us what you feel about this? The statement by Munawwar Rana, your own opinion as far as what is happening in France, the beheading? Do you think anyone in his right mind can justify beheading?
I actually can't even see a debate happening on this, I mean, where is the debate? What is the debate about? It's there's no justification for killing.
I agree.
Any name under any circumstances, no hyphenated words, no equivalents. This should not happen and this must not happen as well. This is worse, this is better, this is a lesser evil, all that is crap, unadulterated crap. There is no justification, never has been justification for killing in the name of religion, and this is not even killing in the name of religion. This is killing in the name of some crazy, outraged individual who thinks his religious sentiments have been outraged because of some poor professor trying to prove a point on free speech. Now, that is, I don't understand this debate at all. I also would actually say that a tragic incident like this should turn the focus really on the crucible where this kind of thought emanates. And, we do see a great deal of terror factories in Pakistan, and we know that it has been happening there for the last 20 years or so, ever since Ziaul Haq came to power in that country. We also know that there are harsh regimes in Malaysia which have supported this kind of nonsense. But the crucible of this thought is neither Malaysia nor Pakistan. It's Saudi Arabia. It's this crazy, mad Wahhabi sentiment that has crept into Islam. And what really where I would actually really support what the French president has said is that Muslims should come forward to save Islam from these lunatics. And that should be the focus of our debate. That should be the focus of Indian policy. That should be the focus of every Hindu Muslim living in this country, every person of Indian origin living abroad, living in France, living in the US.
No, I think what Mr. Hussain, you seem to be saying that any form of making religion extreme or radical, there must always be a distance. And any nation, any country which is aspiring to achieve this must be supported. Yeah. India and the French are claiming to do exactly this.
Well, I think we have now when you're doing a comparative analysis between India and France, I think the concept of freedom of speech in India is very different to the concept of freedom of speech in France. We have a freedom of speech. Correct. We don't have a freedom to offend. Whereas the French believe that they also have freedom to offend. So something that is now acceptable in France, for example, the cartoons, and for example, so many things within the Christian faith as well. The French believe they have a freedom to insult. In India, we don't believe we have a freedom to insult. We are very careful about talking about each other's religions, talking about our own religion. And I think this is in keeping with the overall view of India towards religion, all Indians, Hindu, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians.
Sure.
All of us have a certain amount of respect which we show our religion, which our co-religionists anywhere else in the world don't show.
I think in a weird way, Mr. Habib, do you think that Munawwar Rana was attempting to do exactly the same? Because if you read his original statement, he was trying to do this only. He brought in Hinduism. So. He brought in supposed insult to Hindu gods and how Hindus will get mad and angry. He brought that in the discourse. Just that the manner in which he did it seems to justify an act of violence, which is incorrect.
No, mad and angry. Sorry, before Mr. Habib answers that, mad and angry is fine. Sure. Mad and angry is acceptable. Debate and angry is acceptable, but violence is not acceptable.
Killing is not.
Violence.
Absolutely. But the point is, Mr. Habib, see, the point is, Mr. Habib and Shantanu Gupta, very quickly. Mr. Habib, the thing is, I may be mad and angry over certain instances that may happen. But because Munawwar Rana is a person of stature, person of importance and person of significance, his anger may translate into violence by some of the followers or someone who must be listening to him. You never know.
These are the issues involved in such statements, because most of these people end up provoking people who do not have a nuanced understanding of what is happening around the world. No, because
Habib
these
sir,
people are heard by a large number of people. Second thing is, let me give you an example from history. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, whom we all know, he was a great political leader. He was a great scholar of Islam. In 1926-27, there was a huge controversy in India when a book called Rangila Rasool was published from Lahore. You know, there were riots all over India. There were riots in the streets in Lahore, in Punjab, in UP, all sorts of places. You know how Maulana Azad reacted? He said the book was in bad taste.
How?
It shouldn't have been written. But he is more hurt by the reaction of the believers, by the reaction of the Muslims. They should not have reacted the way they have reacted. No? They should have reacted in a much saner way.
Well said.
No, that is not the reaction of
Absolutely.
the
And one
believers
expects
of the
that
Prophet.
of people like Munawwar Rana.
Yeah. So,
One expects that from people like Munawwar Rana. Mr. Habib, Amir Raza Hussain, as well as Shantanu Gupta. I've run out of time, but thank you so much for getting us your views. I hope people like Munawwar Rana do understand these nuances. He's intelligent enough to know what he said. Did he go a bit too far, and what impact is this going to have on people on the ground? Thank you very much to the three of you, gentlemen.